The unit, 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 the unit.
What is happening? Episode 9 of the Unit Podcast, back again. Cutting it close again. Technical difficulties again. And now, when I finish recording, I'm going to have more problems waiting for it to upload because my broadband, if you'd even call it that, is... Fred Flintstone would be disappointed with it. He wouldn't be going, oh, unbelievable, you can look at whatever you want around the world. He'd literally get it and turn it on and turn on his laptop or phone or whatever got transported back in time to him. And he'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? And I'd be like, I know, Fred. And he'd be like, yabba dabba do. And I'd be like, I know. And then he'd slide down the dinosaur's tail and go to work or whatever. But yeah, so my broadband, as I said, if you'd even call it that, so it's the box thing from Tree, and you put a SIM card into the back of it, and yeah, it's terrible. It's very bad for me anyway. I don't know. So I'm going cancelling that, and I'm getting. Oh, look at me spinning, huh? New chair. Who this? Well, I can hear my sound coming out of the headphones that are down there. Yeah, I got a new chair anyway, lads. So if you were wondering or worried about me, don't worry about me. I got a new chair, alright? What else? So yeah, I have new broadband coming during the week, and I got a call from Tree the other day because my contract is nearly up with them for the broadband that I had. Now I have 2 SIM cards with them as well, one for me and one for my daughter. It's all one package, and I told your man on the phone, I said, look, I want to cancel. I'm going cancelling the broadband. I said, I'm not staying with it, whatever. And he was like, okay, right, and what's the issue? I said, bastard, I don't know if you heard that, but I have a poster that was hanging up on the wall and it fell down, and I have it rolled up and it slid down beside my locker thing and frightened the bollocks out of me, so that's good. But yeah, so the contract is nearly up for the internet and the SIM cards, and I got a phone call from him, and I said, yeah, I want to leave. Jesus, I'm after already fucking saying that. So I said, what's the problem? And I said, it's terrible. I said, it's shocking. Like, and he was like, oh, what do you mean? I said, like, the upload, it takes very long to upload things and takes very long to download things, and it's just not good. Like, he was like, right, okay. Well, what I can do is I can change your contract and you can have it for, fuck, how much did he say? He said 23 euro or fucking 30 euro or something like that. And I was like, no, I don't want it. I said, like, no, it's not good. Like, and he was like, okay. So, would you, if we can change the price down to that much for, I was like, no, it's not. I said, it's not about the price. I said, it's the quality of the broadband is just not good. I didn't say that, did I? Because that doesn't sound like the quality of the broadband. I said, the broadband is just not good. I said, I don't want it anymore. And I said, I'm getting fibre broadband instead. And then he tried to fucking convince me again. I was like, bud, I'm cancelling it on the day. Oh, right, okay, just reach out to our broadband team or whatever the fuck, and they'll have no problem doing that for you. Jesus Christ, finally are actually listening to what I'm saying. I shouldn't have got a chair that moves now at all, because I'm going to be fidgeting like a motherfucker. But yeah, I had to, because that other one was breaking my back. But yeah, this one is kind of weird. I don't know, is it going to break my back or not? Lads, what's the story with my lighting in here? I think I have it fine now today, but it's kind of shining down the top of my head and showing how light the hair is on the top of my head. Once I grow it out a bit, it'll be grand. I had it long, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, and then I just got like the biggest guard that I had for a hair machine. Is that what you call it? What would you call it? I call it a hair machine. And then I've heard other people saying, huh, hair machine. That sounds like something that gives you hair. Like, no, it's a machine for cutting your hair. Like, that's what we've always called it anyway, in the hood. But I put the biggest guard on it, which was a number 7, and just whacked the top of my hair. And then I went back to the barber, and he was like, oh, you wouldn't even know that. It looks like a short scissors cut. But, yeah, because it was annoying me because, I have a kind of a, when I got the transplant done, which side is it? No, I don't know, because the image is, the image is not mirrored on my screen, so I can't tell which side of my head that I'm touching, even though I can see it. But I'm used to looking at my face in the mirror when it is mirrored, so then I know what side the hair is at. So yeah, but I have a bit of a. It's like a kind of a. It's not really a cow's like. It's like the hair kind of grows up and comes down, whatever way it is in that particular area. It's either here or here, like on the right or the left, and yeah, that is a bit of a cunt to deal with because it gets kind of wispy, whatever. So I cut it down shorter, and I'm gonna let it thicken on the top, and then I'm just gonna kind of keep it like this, kind of. What did he call it again? What did he call it again? Uncropped, was it? Ah, fuck, I don't know. I'm very bad at this hair thing. But what about fucking Vladimir Putin saying that World War III is starting? Like, I've seen a couple of things about that, and I was like, I'm not clicking into that. I don't know about ye, but all this shit that I see going on in the world, right? I just try and not take notice of it because otherwise I'd be just sitting there fucking thinking of it all the time. And I know some of the stuff that's happening is sad and shouldn't be happening, but I don't know enough about it and I can't do anything about it. So I just try not to get myself involved with it. Not involved in it, like, you know what I mean? For like fucking getting on to Putin, what are you doing, you fucking wanker on? Then I'm all caught up in it, you know what I mean? But no, I just try to not let it into my brain too much because I have enough stuff in there as it is. And the last thing I want to be doing is overthinking things that I can never change or I can, you know, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, that's a bit mad, like, isn't it? That they're saying that World War III is starting. I saw, I had a meme or a video up on TikTok a couple of weeks ago saying, like, do you know that one where you're in the tank and they're like, oh, me in World War III, and they let me connect my Bluetooth or whatever. And someone commented on that the other day saying early, as in, like, I kind of predicted that World War III was going to happen, or that I mentioned it early that it was going to happen. And I saw the comment early, and I was like, what do you mean early? I thought he was like saying that he was an early commenter on my video. I was like, there's loads of comments here. He's not early. And then I was like, I kind of copped on what he was talking about then. But yeah, I'm really appreciating all the positive feedback that I'm getting about the podcast. There's a lot more people saying it to me in person now. They'd walk past me in town or whatever, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, man, love the podcast," and they'll keep going. I'm like, fuck it, that's brilliant. Like, it's mad to think like that. I just have this new thing that's my thing now. Do you know? Whereas before I'd be like, "Oh yeah, Peppa Pig videos and this and that," and now I'm like, "Oh, now I have a podcast," and people are recognizing me for that, and people are really appreciating. Yeah, that's a word, no, isn't it? Appreciating. People are really appreciating it. Like, I've got a few nice messages now over the last week saying that it's helping people and it's cheering them up and fucking all of that and giving them something to do. And, you know, I appreciate all that, and I love it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. Not only am I doing it because I have all this stuff inside me that needs to come out, but also I'm doing it for the people who need to hear that stuff. And even though it's only bullshit, but it takes them away from what they're thinking about for an hour. And yeah, I'm loving it. I really am. Um, I was thinking, like, imagine if I ever fucking got arrested or something, like, but if I ever got arrested, it'd be for a crime that I didn't commit or whatever. Like, no, your man Raphael Rowe. Oh no. No, so I'm after taking this up my tea right near the microphone. And I don't know, did you hear it or not? But did you see that? I just reached down for my tea. I'm after putting a new little table down next to my desk. And I have my tea and my drink on it. See, I can't put them on the desk because if I tap the desk, what? Yeah, if I tap the desk like that, it echoes up through the microphone because the mic stand is connected to the desk. So I have my cup and my bottle on the little table next to it. So yeah, fucking coming up in the world, new desk, or new chair, new little table that I robbed from my sitting room. So then I had to buy another little table for my sitting room. But yeah, so if I ever get arrested for a crime that I didn't commit, like your man Raphael Rowe. Hi, I'm Raphael Rowe, and I was convicted of this crime what I didn't commit, and I was in jail for ages, and I shouldn't have even been in jail for ages. And now you know what I'm going to do now? I'm travelling the world, going into jail when I don't need to. Mad cunt. I think now if I spent years in jail and I didn't need to spend years in jail because I didn't do nothing wrong, I don't think that'd be my thing, is going around making documentaries in prisons around the world. I just want to see the back of it, like, do you know what I mean? But do you ever remember the season of it? Was it the last season that came out? And you could see a picture in the trailer was like him walking, and you could see the back of one of his tackies. And I was thinking, is he wearing a pair of fucking 270s, Nike 270s? And then I watched it, and he was. And then your man said to him, in it, he was like, I'll take your life, even if it's for a pair of tackies. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever. But apparently the word tackies came from Africa or something like that. That there was some priest from Ireland over there, and when he came back, he, I don't know, told people about the word tackies or used the word tackies. I think someone was saying, I don't know where I saw or heard this, but like the bottom of your sole of your shoes is like rubbery, and in the heat it can get tacky. Do you know, like kind of sticky? That's what they call it, tacky. So I don't know, is that why they're called tackies, because they have a rubber sole or what? But apparently the word originated in Africa or somewhere like that. But yeah, this fella anyway robbed his 270s off him inside in the cell, and then later, was it later in that episode or in the next episode, he was wearing the 270s again. So that made me think, like, why did they even put that part in? What, or why didn't they put in the part where he gets his tackies back? Do you know? Because it makes it sound a bit, it makes it look a bit made up. Do you know, like Top Gear? Remember Top Gear? They'd be like, we're after leaving James May in the Amazon rainforest, and he's fucking, half of his leg is missing. And Hammond and fucking Clarkson are on the way back to the studio laughing or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And obviously it's made up, like, do you know, they're hardly, like, fair enough, they probably do one or two things where they pull pranks on him and stuff like that. But you know, do you ever see, they used to go a bit too far, like, and they used to do it in the Grand Tour and stuff as well, I think. They'd be like, we shot James May in the chest and we left him there. Like, you didn't, like, do you know, you just didn't do that, like. But yeah, I like, I don't believe anything, like if I see a video and someone is dumping 5 litres of cream onto their girlfriend's head in the kitchen, I'm like, did she know about that? Why was she wearing a wetsuit? Do you know? Why did they wait until she was out the back to do it? And I don't know. I don't believe nothing like that I see when I see a video. So then when I'm watching these documentaries, I'm thinking like, yeah, but what about that? And why is it? Do you know, I'd be just trying to add it all up in my head, and it annoys me. I wish that I could, what's it called? Expend my disbelief? Is that what it's called? Expend. The fuck does expend mean? Is that even? I don't know. But I wish I could expend my disbelief, if that's the right words. I don't know. Why? Like, now I'm doing this on this chair. On my last chair, I used to be folding my arms all the time, and now I have my fist facing downwards, and it's just leaning on my hip. What am I doing? Like, why am I off at a big angle? Why am I like a forward slash inside the chair? See, it's a spinny chair and a uppy and downy chair, but I don't have the room to spinny and, well, I have the room to uppy and downy, but I don't have the room to spinny. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna fold my arms. No, I'm not. No, I'm doing it again. I don't know. I need to get used to this. But there was a story that I wanted to tell you when I was it on the bonus episode, I think, when I was telling the stories. I just never ended up getting around to it. But I thought it was something that kind of fit in that episode. I need to stop doing that with my arm. I'm wrecking my own head. But I remember one time my daughter was only small. And do I say daughter weird? Like, the way I'd usually say no is I'd say like, oh yeah, no, I have to go collect my daughter. And I'll move on and I'll keep going. But I remember a couple of months ago, I was in work and I told one of the girls in work, I said, oh yeah, I'm off now next week because I have to bring my daughter to get her appendix out. Not her appendix. What am I fucking talking about? I got my appendix out. She didn't. I had to bring her to get her tonsils out. So we had to stay overnight in the hospital in Galway. And I said, I'm off this day and I'm off that day because I have to bring my daughter to hospital because she's getting her tonsils out, right? So she kind of looked at me and went like, oh. like that. And I was like, oh yeah, no. And whatever I said, and she was like, wait, did you say you're bringing your dog to get its tonsils out? I said, no, my daughter. She was like, oh, I thought you said your dog. So now anytime I'm talking to someone and I say daughter, I feel like I'm like, do they think I'm talking about my dog? Or I didn't have a dog, like, but am I saying it weird or something? Do you know, like, I know I have a Limerick accent a bit, like, but I don't have a pure Limerick accent like that. All of mine, I don't have a pure strong one, like, I don't think anyway. But yeah, if I say like, oh yeah, no, I have to go collect my daughter. Am I saying that weird? Anyway, so my daughter, my daughter was only about 3 at the time, I'd say. No, yeah, something like that. Do you know the age when? No, she wasn't. She was probably about 2-ish or something. I don't know. But do you know the age when they're playing in the room, in the sitting room? They're playing in the sitting room, so you can walk into the bedroom and get something or fucking pick out your clothes or whatever, or get clothes for them, and they'll be fine because they're playing in the sitting room. It was that age. Do you know the age where you can walk out of the room and leave them for a few minutes and let them do their own thing, right? So I was living in an upstairs apartment, and I had a Civic at the time, a 97 Honda Civic. No, 98, I think. But it was like the EK shape, and it was like the forest green hatchback Civic. It was only 1.4. Um, and I wanted to sell it, so I was going to put it up on Dundee. So I left her. She was playing in the sitting room, and I looked and I was like, yeah, she's grand for a minute. So I wanted to walk down the stairs and out the front, take a couple of pictures of the car, and go back up the stairs. And fine, she wouldn't have even noticed. It would be the same length of time as if I went to the bathroom and back, right? Walked down the stairs, walked out the door, took a picture of the front, the back, each side, picture the inside, turned around, walked over, went in the door, walked to the next door, door was locked. I was like, oh, bollocks. Had no keys with me. And the child was locked into the apartment. No, she was locked into the building in the apartment, and I couldn't get in. So there was 4 apartments in the building, and I rang every buzzer, got no answer. I was like, oh fuck. So I thought, what can I do? There's nothing I can do. I stood back and I just bolted in the door. And it was all glass panels going up along the door. And sure, I fucking broke about 4 of them. Like, they didn't break, but they cracked, we'll say, from where I kicked it. All the crack started there and went up along the glass. So yeah, so that was fun. And then I had to explain to the landlord why I had to kick in the door. No, I wasn't waving the 4-4 or anything like that. If I was kicking in the door and waving the 4-4, I would have said nothing to the landlord. So yeah, but yeah, and I didn't. So the child didn't know obviously what was going on because she was only a child. So she just heard the loud banging. When I went up, she was kind of looking at me, thinking, "Oh God, what was that?" kind of thing, you know. But didn't say that, like. And how does my tea go so cold when I'm on a podcast? It's so weird. Like, I'm only recording now for 18 minutes, and my tea is cold already. Yeah, suppose that is that too long to have a cup of tea? I don't know, but yeah, and yeah, oh yeah. So I didn't tell the child for years. I waited until she was a teenager, and then I told her. So in my mind, I was like, if she goes home and tells her mother's hardly going to give out to me over something that happened 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? But at the time, I was like, I can't let anyone know about this because I felt like the worst cunt in the world because I was after locking my child in and had to fucking kick in the door and tap for her. But yeah, I suppose it's not too bad when I think back on it. But at the time, I was like, I can't tell anyone about this. I feel like the worst father ever. But yeah, so yeah, I thought that was a fucking mad situation to be in. I'm not getting any input into the podcast off people, and I need it. I need stories, and I need questions. Oh, actually, question. I put up a question box on my Instagram a while ago, and I asked people. I said, "Ask me anything for the podcast." So I'll have a look and see. Of course, we'll have a look. I'll have a look and see did anyone say anything. So Jody is the first message, and I'm not reading that one out. Um, Valerie asked, "How are you feeling since starting the podcast?" Valerie, I'm good, very good, because like I still don't have any hobbies or much interests. Uh, I still don't, right? And I started this podcast at the start of the year, and I thought this is going to be my hobby, this is going to be my interest, and now I actually feel like I'm kind of doing something with myself. And as I said a while ago, um, it seems like other people are enjoying it too, and it's kind of helping other people, even though it's nonsense and bullshit most of the time. As I said, people are enjoying it, and that is giving me a good sense of accomplishment, kind of, because I feel like something that I've created is making people laugh and taking people's mind off whatever they're going through and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm feeling really, really good since I started the podcast, to be totally honest with you. Now, I still have like my fucking shitty days and stuff like that, but overall, where the podcast is concerned, yeah, very, very good. So thank you for your question. And then the last question is Leanne said, "What advice would you give your younger self, or what's the best advice you've ever received?" That is a good question. So, what's the advice you'd give your younger self? Okay, well, if first of all, start fucking saving as soon as you start working and learn the value of money, because, like, I started working when I started properly working when I was it 18 or 19 or something like that? No, it was 18. Yeah, I was 18 when I got my first job in Dell, and for the time, like, it was good money. I was doing like a split, like a one. I think 1 week was nights and 1 week was days. Yeah, it was. It was 7 to 7, I think. So you do. No, it wasn't. Something like that. Anyway, I think you'd start at 7 in the morning and work till 7 in the evening 1 week, and then the following week you'd start at 7 in the evening and work till 7 in the morning. Something like that. So we used to get a shift allowance as well, where they, like, obviously most people know what that means, but with a shift allowance, they'll give you extra money for making yourself available to do separate shifts. Was it called a split shift or a swing shift, or what was it called? But anyway, and the money I was earning at the time was decent for an 18-year-old who was living at home. And I didn't see the value of money until I was in my late 20s, I'm going to say. Maybe even close to 30. But yeah, I was just never any good at saving. And then, and I used to be always kind of doing stupid things with money when I was younger as well, where I could have like a 95 Corolla, which I've had my fair share of, and I'll sell that and then put whatever money I have left in my pocket to go towards the next car, which might be a 94 Corolla, but it might be another couple of €100 more or something than what I've made off the previous car. So, I'd just constantly leaving myself in situations like that where I'd have like a couple of more days left until payday, and I'd find myself scraping through. And for what? Like, do you know what I mean? It was just because I wasn't good at managing money and stuff like that. So I think that's the main thing that I would advise myself, if I could go back to advise my younger self, is just keep saving, keep saving, keep saving, because it's a brilliant skill to have. But it was just that I I wasn't kind of brought up around money, so I didn't understand the value of it. You know, like there was four of us. There was four of us in the house growing up with my mother. My father died when I was young. I was so My father was actually dead 30 years. I think I mentioned that on a previous episode, but I was only young at the time, and he used to work, and people have told me that he used to be kind of like me. Like, I used to be clever enough when I was younger at making money, like on the side, kind of like swapping things, or like the people used to always say to me, like my brother and stuff used to say to me that I'd be able to leave the house with a fucking stick, a branch off a tree, and I'd come back with a bicycle. Do you know, I'd swap it and I'd be wheeling and dealing, just stupid little things like. No, I'm not talking about fucking hundreds, like, but when I was younger, I'd always find a way to make 50 quid or 100 quid or whatever here and there. I used to be fucking selling CDs and, burning CDs and selling them and stuff like that. And it was always kind of handy enough that way. But as I said, like, I didn't know the value of it, so I used to just splash it and buy myself clothes and things like that. But as I say, we grew up in a house where there was four of us, and there was my mother, and my yeah, as I said, like, my father died when I was young, and remember. I don't remember him really, so I wouldn't have had any of the influence to learn how to graft and make money and stuff like that. He used to actually go around on a horse and cart selling coal. Um, but he used to always be wheeling and dealing on the side as well. Little things people used to be always telling me, oh, you're like your father. He'd always going to turn a few quid here and there, and he was clever, and he was this and that, and funny and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So uh, I didn't influence that didn't, what way am I trying to say it? I don't feel like I got that influence from him because I was so young when he passed away. And even though, yeah, like, I was kind of at the edge where I should have memories and I should remember him. But what, like, I don't know, did my brain block that out? Just like a kind of a trauma response thing or what? But there's one, Jesus, this is getting a bit deep now, but look, I'm fine. To be honest, I don't know my life to be any other way. So this is why I can talk about this kind of thing without being upset, because this is the only life that I know is not having him around. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that in a bad way or anything like that, but I've dealt with it over the years because, yeah, I don't know. Did my brain just block it out as a kind of a trauma response or whatever, right? But there's one thing that I remember, and it was only me and him that were there. We were on the cart delivering coal, and if I'm gonna tell you this now for the local people, the people around South Hill and stuff like that, or even, you know, around the city who might know the area, right? So we came into Crew Park, we'll say at the Galvon entrance of Crew Park. Um, and when you drive in that way, when you go in that way, there's a left turn that'll bring you down, like, by the shop and all, by the end and all, right? So if you pass out that turn, don't take that turn and go down a bit. And then there used to be a little turn into the left, and there was a little square in there. I feel like there was only about 5 or 6 houses. And it was in there. So it would have been before you get to the pitches or anything like that, where the old people's homes are now on the right hand side. When you just pass them or go down a small bit, there used to be a little turn in there, only about 5 or 6 houses. And you don't go as far as, I'm going to get really local now, but you don't go as far as where Pa Giggy used to live. You go, it's back before that. Little square in there. And there was I feel like it was an elderly woman. As I said, I know this story and I feel like I remember it only for, like, I know all the details, and I can see the thing that I'm going to tell you about, right? I can see that thing in my mind, but I don't remember going there. I don't remember the day. I don't remember the woman. I don't remember the conversation, but I know it happened, if that makes any sense. Um, it's like, yeah, I have the memory of it, but it's mixed up or something. So we went in there, and an old woman said to my father, "Do you want this for the young fella, for me?" Because I was sitting on the cart, and it was a sled, like a snow sled, and it was white plastic, and it was like a rectangle of white plastic, and it had like chrome bars that went down the front and then came back the way. So it's a flat white plastic on the top, then like curled chrome bars that came off the front and went down and went underneath. And there was a hole broken in the top of it in the center, but it was only a small kind of a hole, like half the size of a beer mat kind of a size, you know. And it was it was like a broken triangle hole in the top of the plastic, and that was all. Like, it was a sled, so obviously it was still perfectly functional. And I don't remember what time of the year it was or anything like that, but I remember the woman said, "Do you want that for the young fella?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I got this sled, and that's the only memory that I have. That just that one memory, and I don't understand why that is. But anyway, I don't know how I ended up getting there, but yeah. So obviously, after my father passed away, my mother was going through it with her mental health and stuff like that, and she wasn't working at the time or anything like that, and so we never. Uh, she was trying to look after us basically. Do you know what I mean? As best she could. So, and plus she was going through what she was going through. So she wasn't working at the time or anything like that, and so there wasn't really much money in the house or anything, and we didn't really have too much. So the value of things wasn't really there, um, or I never saw the benefits of money when I was growing up. Do you know that kind of way? Like I didn't see. Like I know now that my daughter sees, like, oh, my dad works hard, and that's why he's able to buy this, and that's why he was able to have his car, and that's why he's able to, you know, buy the things that he wants, and that's why he's able to buy me the things that he wants. So I know that she can see the benefits of earning money, as much money as you can, and about managing your money and saving, and not splashing it too much and stuff like that. Now, I wish like I'm still not brilliant with money, but I'm fucking 100 times better than I was. Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so that fucking hell, we're after getting a long way out of that question. So thanks very much for the question. I'm gonna say your name again. Thanks very much for the question, Leanne. So I put that up a while ago, a question box, and I only got 3 replies on it, and that's fine. But look, I do need more input. I need more questions. I need more stories and stuff like that, because the response that I get from people's stories, like that story about the RIP.ie lads, the amount of messages I got about that, people were crying, laughing at that. Like, I can't remember what episode that was in, but you should be listening to all my episodes anyway. So go back and have a listen if you can. Yeah, but what else? Oh yeah, there was another thing that I wanted to tell you. I was only talking to one of the boys, the same fella actually, who fucking absolutely elbow dropped his fucking hallway, drove his elbow up into his shoulder blade. I was talking to him, and it came into my head. The both of us used to deliver pizzas for a place years ago, right? And it was when, like, you'd be like, I know some people still do. You know, you have to top up your phone by the 20 quid or whatever with credit, and then you get your calls and your texts and all. Now, that's completely alien to me now. As I said a while ago, I have it on a bill thing now, the SIM card plan. But when your credit used to run out, and you had no free calls or anything, and I think you were still able to contact people on the same network as you, or something like that. You were able to contact your friends, but you couldn't ring just anybody. And so if I was working and he was off, or vice versa, we'd ring each other and we'd go, man, fucking, I'm at this house with the pizza. Will you ring the customer for me and tell him I'm outside? And so I'd go, yeah, send me on the number. So he'd send on the number, and I'd ring up, and I'd pretend that I was him. I wouldn't let on like, "Hi, it's your man's friend there, and just letting you know he's outside." No, no, no. I'd ring up and I'd pretend that I was him. So I'd be like, "Well, how are you keeping? Come here. I'm just outside the door with your pizza in the blue car." Or whatever, do you know, and whatever car he'd be driving, whatever, then the person would come out and he'd be talking to be like, "Yeah, thanks, man, sound," whatever, and people are awkward with him, and he'd ring me back and he'd be like, "Man, you fucking prick, what did you say to that person?" And yeah, I don't know, it was just a stupid thing that we used to do to each other. I don't know, fucking rubbing off the back of the sign. But yeah, there was I thought that was funny. You should do that to your friends as well if you ever have to ring anybody. But yeah, so I kind of feel like this episode is going to be all kind of bits and pieces. But like, no matter how I feel about an episode, people still end up loving it, and that's brilliant. And I am gonna change this up a little bit for the better. I'm obviously not going to make any fucking drastic changes. I'm never going to make the podcast worse. But I have a few ideas in mind of things that I'm going to do to make it more entertaining for you. So stay tuned for that. But do you know what I saw? last week. Do you ever see when the guards are out and they're fucking sticking the gun out the window of the car, the speed gun? I saw a guard standing out. Now, people are probably going to be like, yeah, sure, they always do that. How do you want to see that now? Whatever. But I saw a guard, like, fully dressed in black. Or what is he dressed in black? Or maybe navy. But anyway, he was ducked in behind a tree, right? He had the car parked up on the motorway. And people say to me now, like, oh, you're still using Google Maps and you're fucking this and that. Google Maps is fucking brilliant. Like, because it'll tell you police ahead or object on the road ahead or roadworks ahead or road closed. I think fucking Google Maps is great. But it came up on Google Maps and police ahead. So I was looking, I was like, where are they? Like, whatever. Next thing I could see way up in the distance, I could just barely see a little bit of the colours of the squad car hidden in behind those little slip road things that they can go up. And I passed him. He was out of the car. He had his face fully covered up. He just you could just barely see his eyes. He was tucked in behind the tree, catching people for speeding. I've never seen a guard that fucking stealthy before. It was mad for me to see. I think it was mad for me to see. I think I talk some shit on this, don't I? God bless me. But yeah, I just thought that was weird. But you've probably seen guards like that before, fully stealthed up to the neck. Do you know what else? Do you know what I was going to do? I was going to get, do you know, Peter Griffin, the way on that episode of Family Guy, he's like on the news and he's like, you know what really grinds my gears? And I was just going to put that soundbite onto my soundboard and play it throughout the episode, because I feel like this is a kind of a, do you know what really grinds my gears episode? That's what I might call the episode. But anyway, do you ever see in, like, if you're in the Crescent or whatever, and there is the pedestrian walkways for people to walk, like, from the centre over to the car park bits or whatever, people seem to think that they're proper pedestrian crossings. But, like, what they don't realise is they have to have the orange flashy light, don't they? For it to be an actual official thing. Because you see people walking out there and they're kind of looking at you as if to say, you have to stop now. And they'll just walk clean out in front of you. And I'm there thinking, like, I let them across, but I don't like letting ignorant people across the road, because they don't deserve it. Like if someone lets me across the road on a normal, proper pedestrian crossing, I'd give them a salute. Sometimes I'll feel like a bit of a gourmet for doing it, but still I'll do it. Like, do you know what I mean? But they think that inside car parks like that are fucking proper road rules. And as far as I know, like, even if you drive down do you know where the arrows are in the car park and tells you, oh, you only drive this way on that part and you drive that way on this part, I'm fully sure, like, they're just guidelines to, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're just guidelines, because that's a private car park, or maybe it's a public car park. I don't know what it is. But as far as I know, it's not actual rules of the road rules. Like, do you know the way they say, like, oh, don't drive in this way, you can only drive in that way. Like, they're just to organise the car park and to keep it flowing properly. But they're not actually, like, what do you call the word? When you can get in trouble for it? Fucking, punishable. Yeah, I don't think they're like punishable rules. I think they're just kind of rules to keep the car park running smoothly. And people just seem to think that these fucking pedestrian walkway things, or whatever the fuck they're called, they think they're proper pedestrian crossings, like, and they're not. I don't think, because I think it has to have the orange flashy light for it to be an official one. Like, do you know what I mean? And people are just like, yeah, you have to stop and let me pass. No, I don't think I do. And do you ever see the traffic lights? There's one set of traffic lights that I come to all the time, right? And it's not in Limerick, right? 1 minute. And most of the time at this, it's like a kind of a, you come to the main traffic lights, but this is like a little kind of a road to go left off the traffic lights. I'm explaining the bollocks now, but it's the one that has the arrow. Do you know? And when that arrow is green, you're allowed to drive that way. It's red, you have to stop, whatever. But this one is nearly always flashing orange. So it's an orange flashing arrow, which means the car coming down to it has to treat it as if it's a pedestrian crossing. I'm 99% sure any traffic light, like, if you're, like, when your traffic light is flashing orange, isn't that prepare to proceed with caution, isn't it? Or something like that. And that's what a pedestrian crossing is, and that's what the flashy orange light for the arrow for the left and all. So I think any of the orange flashy lights mean that, don't they? And any time I ever come to this light, the arrow is flashing orange, and people walk up to it, see me coming, and stop. I'm going like, ye have right away, like, just go. And I'd be stopping and waving them on, and they'd be like looking at their phone or whatever. I know what kind of phone that was anyway, because things like size of a cement block the way I'm have to put my hand. But yeah, I don't know. I think there should be a theory test that people have to do to be pedestrians as well. But like, oh, I'm after pedestrian. I'm after passing the pedestrian test. Now I'm allowed to walk around town. Do you know? Yeah, that really grinds my gears. That really grinds my gears. But yeah, what else was I going to say to you? Do you ever? Oh yeah. So I was gonna put up on my Instagram story or something like that. But you see, I don't want to be too cliche either. Like, do you know the way on Valentine's Day I put up on Instagram? I asked a few like, oh, what's your worst dating experience, or what's your worst this and that, you know, about like relationships and stuff like that. And I didn't want to ask like, oh, what's your biggest ick? Even though like I didn't want to ask what's your biggest ick. What I wanted to ask was, what's the strangest ick that you have that you know shouldn't be an ick, but it is. But I felt like I don't want to ask that because it's a bit cliche, and it's a bit like something that like the first thing that you think of when you hear a podcast. You'd be like, oh, what's your biggest ick? Do you know, this whole fucking chicken fillet roll on the radio kind of a sound, like they're talking to fucking some famous person. They're like, have you ever had a chicken fillet roll? Do you know? But what I wanted to ask as well is like council estate memories, or things that you miss from council estates, or things that you saw when you were growing up there that you just think about and you think, how did I think that was normal? Like, you know, or even like people that aren't from those areas who like used to visit friends there and saw things that made them think like, fucking hell. Like, you know, like I remember thinking like, I remember going into people's houses and they had a pizza cutter, and I'd be thinking, pizza cutter, not near Sam. Do you know, normal little thing like that. What else was there? So a pizza cutter, an ice cream scoop, and even like, you know, we get an ice cream scoop and use it for mash. Well, some people do, and I kind of do. I do, yeah, I do. Like I always thought like that kind of stuff. I don't know what it was. I thought like if someone had that kind of stuff, like you'd be like, oh, they're doing well or whatever, and not even like, no, I wouldn't even think they're doing well. That's a bit of a joke, to be honest with you. But do you know, it's just like you're thinking like, oh, we don't have one of them. We don't use that. Do you know? And yeah. So I don't know, should I ask things like that? It'd be a long old it'd be a long question to put on Instagram, to be fair, wouldn't it? But like, what do you remember from council estates? Or what did you think was normal in council estates? Or what did you think back and think, how did I think that was normal? Or what did you think when you visited your friend living in a council estate? Or did you have a pizza cutter? Do you know? But yeah, I need you to keep commenting, lads, and keep engaging with my stuff, because I want it to grow. I keep saying it. I know I keep saying it, but when I say this a lot on an episode, it seems that episode gets more comments and stuff like that, because I want YouTube and Spotify and stuff to suggest my podcast to people who aren't listening to it yet, because I want to get it out there more. And I don't know if all of you saw, definitely not all of you, but I posted yesterday on Instagram as well that I'm after reaching 10,000 streams and downloads. Is it 10,000 streams and downloads or something like that on Spotify since I've started this? And that's mad. Like, it's not 10,000 people. No, don't be thinking it's 10,000 people, but I have, so this is episode 9. So there was 8 episodes and a bonus. A bonus. But like, even if like just over 1,000 people listen to each episode, then that will bring it up to like 10,000 or whatever. But I still think that's mad, because I'm after, it's a milestone. Do you know what I mean? It's a little milestone that I'm after reaching. So if you can put any of that stuff in the comments or even text it to me and I can read it out then on next week's episode. Because I'm there and I'm going through the week and I'll be like, oh, what will I ask people? And I'm thinking like I need to put up question boxes and specifically ask ye things for ye to give me anything. Because as you can see, I'm after putting up like saying, ask me anything for the podcast. And I got 3 replies. Do you know? Whereas if I said like, what's your favourite bread? Then I might get 20 replies. Do you know? But I don't know what questions to ask. So I actually, yeah. So even if you can tell me what question you want me to put in my question box, because you might have a good answer for that, or you might think it might be a creative one and it might be something that might get people talking or whatever, then let me know and I can put that in my question box. Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever remember Art Attack? So I always love telling people this. I know that this is random, right? This is the random episode. Welcome back to the random episode. The fella who presented Art Attack, did you know that he was in like a heavy metal band? Neil Buchanan, I think his name is. Did you know he was in like this mad heavy metal band? But one of them kind of bands, is that called heavy metal? I don't know. But and then he'd be coming on the screen going like, hey, look what I'm gonna do, and he'll make a picture on the ground and then they'll look at it from above. They wouldn't have even had drones back then. How did they get the camera up so high? Or maybe it was on top of a building or something, or maybe on a stick. That was mad. Do you remember Art Attack? And they used to do the pictures and he'd be placing school bags down or something and he'll turn it into, and then he'll look up on top and he'll be like, oh, 9,000 school bags made a soldier. You're thinking like, where did he get all the school bags from? Do you know? And then he finishes up and goes, and starts playing the fucking electric guitar or whatever he used to do. Or was he doing the run into the microphone? But when I found that out years ago, I was like, lads, that's mad. And now anytime anybody mentions Art Attack, I was like, do you know your man Neil Buchanan used to be in this mad fucking band group thing. Yeah, and like it's just hard to believe that was his day thing. Like he'd go in and record an episode and make a picture of a fucking horse out of piss and shit, and then the camera will go up and be like, oh, look, it's a horse. And be like, yeah, but now we have to clean up all that piss and shit. And then go in and do his after that. So, yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah. Oh, where are we for time? Over 47 minutes. Oh, sorry. I'm just having a stretch. I made so disrespectful. But I cooked a pizza the other night. And it was only them fucking cheap ones out of Aldi, right? 2 of them in the one box. And no, when it was when I was making it was. I took the first pizza out of the box and put it into the oven. No, sorry, I preheated. I started preheating the oven and I put the box away. So then I thought, oh, what temperature am I meant to put this pizza on? Because like the Chicago town, the tin ones, or maybe even the thicker ones, you're meant to put them on like 170 for however many minutes. And I found out, because do you ever remember cooking the Goodfellas pizzas? And it'd be like a fucking hubcap or something like that. Or it's like my fucking sign there. It's like fucking wood or whatever. And you're eating it and bust your teeth and all. So that kind of turned me off, like frozen pizzas. And then I realised, oh, there's other pizzas out there than Goodfellas. Like, do you know, there's other pizzas out there than Goodfellas. Not right. There's different pizzas out there. There's other pizzas you can get. Anyway, so I started trying different ones. And then I tried Chicago Town, or as some people call it, Chicago. Do you ever hear people saying Chicago? I did. It's funny. And I started trying them deep dish ones and all. And when you put them on at the correct heat, correct temperature, have your oven preheated beforehand and put them on for the exact time, they're fucking beautiful. Like, they're nearly, some of them be just as nice as a proper takeaway pizza. Like, and I was thinking to myself, like, how do people, like, I've seen people there that come in with their shopping and they'll take the pizzas out of the box and fuck the box away. so that there's more room in their freezer, and they'll just put the pizzas in the clear plastic. I know there's some people watching this now or listening to this now who do that, but how in the name of God do you do that? I can't, because I'd be thinking like, oh wait, no, what temperature is this pizza supposed to be at, and what's the exact time that they tell you to leave it in for, and do you know, and I know you can kind of judge it by eye sometimes, but yeah, I don't know, it freaks me out, like not putting it on the way that the box says, and you're not going to be able to remember every time what that brand of pizza, what temperature they want it on, or what length of time it has to be in the oven for, or anything like that. Oh, excuse me. And it freaks me out. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. So I have to like try manage fit the fucking box in and everything. I have to actually defrost my freezer soon because there's about that much ice inside it. It's like fucking. It's like the one that the Titanic fucking clipped. Had a fender bender with. So I need to do that. And do you preheat your oven? I always have to preheat my oven, but I've heard loads of people, fuck that. But like, when if you just say, I went down now and I put a frozen pizza into the oven and just turned it on to the temperature, like, how are you meant to judge the time then? Because as your oven is heating up, it's like slowly cooking your pizza, even though it's not at the temperature yet. So it's not after having the full time, but it's already kind of slightly cooking your pizza and defrosting it and shit. And then how long are you meant to wait? Do you know? Because it could take a good fucking 10 minutes there for your oven to reach temperature. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably fucking thinking way too much into this. But anyway, the reason that I was talking about the council estate thing, fucking hell, how did I get that lost? The reason that I was talking about the council estate thing was because I remembered something, right? And now, some people will remember this. Some people will remember this. So anyone who used to hang around up in Keys Park, right? So when you come into Keys Park over by the credit union, we'll say, and you turn in that way and you go right. And then you can walk left down through the poles and you could keep going down that way and you'd be able to eventually get to my house. I was in O'Malley, but like you could go across Keys Park and down into O'Malley Park. So when you come in from the credit union, turn right, and then on your left hand side there was like 5 or 6 poles going across to stop people from so there was all them poles there to stop cars and things from driving down the footpath. And there was one pole there that was different from the rest, right? And it was open at the top. So there was all like solid poles, and then there was one pole that was just a hollow pole and open at the top, obviously, right? So I don't know who started it, but it probably started one day by someone just pouring milk or something into the top of the pole, right? And then it got sour and started smelling, right? So then what happened was, if we were hanging around and we were after being down at the chipper or anything, someone will just take like 2 or 3 of their chips and they'll throw it into the pole. And then the following day, if someone is there and they're drinking a bottle of Coke, they'll pour a bit of their Coke into it. And then if someone has fucking anything at all, jellies and fucking potatoes and bits of chocolate and everything, it would all just get put into this pole. There was even yogurts and there was everything. And it would obviously overflow and stuff like that. But there used to be flies flying around it. And the pole was just full of like gone off milk and like food that went bad. And it was always liquidy though, for some reason. And you know what it used to be called? The smelly pole. And that was a normal thing for us. And what people used to do was, if you were standing near the smelly pole, someone would kick the pole. Another bit of pole would do that little kind of vibrating shake thing. And then whatever liquid had accumulated in that pole would splash up and land on your back or your fucking head or your pants or anything at all. And yeah, so we had the smelly pole. And I think, thinking back on it, like I've just have never heard of anything like that or seen anything like that again. And it's just something that I thought it was like, fucking, that was mad. Like, it was fair. What a random thing to have and to contribute to just putting stuff into it. I was thinking, oh, it's just a smelly pole. I'd throw fucking 2 or 3 of my meanies into it there. Why, like? Do you know? It's just something that I thought back on. And I thought, like, fucking, that can't be normal. Imagine if someone came back and said, "Oh my God, we had a smelly pole too." I'd just probably be like, "Nah, you didn't. You no smelly pole." So, yeah, that was why I got into the whole council estate thing. You bastard! After knocking about 19 things off the shelf again. Did I do that in the last episode, or was it the episode before? Oh, I'm gonna know because that's gonna annoy me. Fucking thing. 2 seconds now. Sit up there now, you. Sit. Stay. Yeah, I knew that. I knew something like that was going to happen. But yeah. So today is Sunday. I swore I was going to have a productive weekend. Do you know that? No, I didn't actually swear, but I said to myself, I'm going to have a productive weekend, and I don't think I am going to now because it's now Sunday, and I'm running late again for the podcast. To be totally honest, I need to have better broadband so that when things like this happen, I can quickly upload the episode. So I'm hoping this episode is not going to be late again. Or no, not again. It was never. Oh wait, yeah, no, sorry, it was a little bit late last week. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just working all the time, and obviously doing things around the house and other shit to do and blah blah blah. And so, do you know what someone said to me recently? They were like, "Oh, fucking fair play on the podcast. You must be making a few quid off that." I am my fucking bollocks. I wish I was. Like, if I start making money off this podcast, you're going to see a change in me. I'll be fucking chilling out in the sun, on a sun lounger, be fucking posting stories, be like, what's happening, lads? Get ready for the podcast on Sunday. Now it's going to be fucking recorded from here in Killaloo or whatever. And I'll have another sun lounger and I'll be covered in fucking sun cream and chilling, taking it in if it ever gets sunny. And then I'll have another sun lounger and there'll be about €13 or whatever just thrown on in the middle of the sun lounger and there'll be all sun cream thrown on that and you'll be like, you know what? He's doing well for himself. So yeah, no, I'm not. I don't make money off the podcast. But be alright if I could. I wouldn't mind it. But I don't know. You probably need fucking stupid views to monetize your. No, you do actually. Sorry, I looked it up. Before I started the podcast, just wondering what all the pros and cons were of having a podcast. But yeah, you need to be doing stupid numbers to make money. Like, so, yeah, that's a long way away, and it might not even come. So yeah, don't be thinking like, oh, he's a podcast and all. He's fucking doing well for himself. No. This is just I just do this as a hobby, and I do it for ye. And if I end up making money off it, so be it. I fucking wouldn't turn it down. Know what I mean? Even €13 would do me. Be grand. So I'm not having the productive weekend that I said I would. I've no dinner on yet. Usually on a Sunday I'd cook something proper, and like something that takes kind of hours to cook in slow cook or whatever. Whether it be bacon cabbage or stew or fucking I put beef in it and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't, so I'm going to do a kind of a simple dinner today, and tomorrow then I'm just going to have to try start again tomorrow and just try to be productive outside of working and stuff, obviously. So what I might do when I get home from work tomorrow is have 7 showers. I literally get a shower, get out and dry myself, get back in again, get out and dry myself, and just keep going in and out until I have 7 showers got. That'll be my showers in for the week. So that's productivity there, like, do you know what I mean? And I think that might help me be a bit more productive. Imagine if people believe me. Yeah, but I went to the. Do you remember I told you last week that I reactivated my gym membership? So since then I've went once. I went into the swimming pool, into the sauna, into the steam room, and into the jacuzzi. And I was in there for an hour and a half in all of them, and it was unreal. It was really, really good. Because my body gets stiff and kind of, I don't know, I just feel unfit. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like I needed that to kind of relax me and loosen out my body and stuff like that. But I've actually started drinking a bit more water. Started buying bottles of water, like a multi pack of water, and bringing it with me, and have like a diluted fucking summer fruits thing or whatever, and I put some of that into it. But look, I'm still getting the water into me, but not as much as I should. Nowhere near as much as I should. But you fucking just piss all the time when you drink water, literally like all the fucking time, like, and I don't know, it drives me mad. But like, fucking dog walker, shit talker, always kind of told me like loads of times when I was talking to him, he said, and when I was trying to give up the coffee, I actually had a coffee yesterday. It was nice, but it didn't feel like my first coffee in 2 months or whatever. It was just like, oh yeah, that's nice. But I said like I'll just have one as a bit of a treat, and yeah, I did. Like it wasn't like unreal or whatever. It was just like, oh yeah, cool. So I might have one now and then, but I'm definitely not going to go back to having fucking 4 and 5 and 6 a day. Like, um, but I was able to break the habit of doing that. But I need to do it with tea because I'm drinking too much fucking tea. And I know I might say, oh, it's just tea or whatever, but yeah, I fucking take 2 sugars in every cup and then have them throughout the day and just fucking some amount of sugar. But yeah, what I was saying to you was dog walker, shit talker, always going to say to me, what was it? Hydrate before you caffeinate. So he's on about like getting up in the morning and drinking a pint of water or whatever, and then you can have your coffee or your tea or whatever it is. But what I like to do is caffeinate before I caffeinate. So I'll get up in the morning, my eyes will be still closed, and I'll be out making a cup of tea for myself, and then I'll get back into bed with the cup of tea and drink it. And then when I go to work, I'll have another cup of tea half an hour later, and then when I'm finished that, I'll probably have another one. So yeah, I just need to try and change my drinking habits and my eating habits, of course. Another story that I was meant to tell you on the. No, was I meant to tell you or did I think of it? Your man actually reminded me. But we were there one day and me and one of the boys were in one car and then another one of the lads was in his car. And this fella now is pure protective of his cars, like he loves them. He'd rather break his leg now than get a dent in his car, like. And you're like, all right, man, it's just a car, like, you know. But like, so because he's like that, we used to be always making jokes. Like, I remember one day his car was parked beside a tree. I think it was a Buggy Integra he had at the time, and it was fucking shining now, like, and fucking lovely wheels and everything. You know, it was a nice car. And I was kind of saying, like, man, imagine if the wind just blew and the tree just fell down and landed on top of your car. It'd be funny, wouldn't it? He's kind of looking at me with a dead serious face, going like, don't be saying that. I'm thinking like it's hilarious because like, I don't know if it did happen. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, do you know? And it's not as if I'm going to curse it and make it happen. But I remember one day he had an Avensis and the thing fucking slammed on a nice set of alloys, and he's these big fucking dishy alloys with black in the center. We were there one day, and me and one of the boys were in one car, and he was in his car in the Avensis, and we said to him, "Come on, and we go down to the one of the lads' house for a cup of tea." So we went down anyway. He was like, "Yeah, I'll go, whatever." So we went down to the house anyway and pulled in. I think he had to go get petrol or diesel or whatever it was, and then he was going following us down. So we got down to the house anyway, made the tea, and made his tea as well. And we were sitting there drinking a cup of tea, waiting for him to come. I'm kind of like, oh, Jesus, you want to hurry on? Like his tea is going to be cold. And he, yeah. So it got to a bit of time passed. Then we were like, he's not fucking showing up at all. His tea's cold now at this point. Like, where the fuck is he gone? And like, do you know, a good bit of time had passed, however long it was, I don't know. But we kind of got to the point where we're like, okay, his tea is cold now. Where the fuck is he? Like, he said he was only going to go to the petrol station and follow us, and he's still not here, and his tea is cold. So we text him. I text him, I think, and a few minutes passed, and he didn't text back straight away, like, and we're like, what the fuck? Where, whatever. So he texts back and said, I curbed my wheel. He scratched his ally, so he went home. So, so he got his petrol or diesel or whatever it was and followed us down to the house. And while he was parking the car outside the house, so he actually did come down to the house. I don't know, actually, did we hear him outside? And then wonder why he didn't come in or something like that. And I texted him and goes like, man, what happened? Like, and he was like, oh, I curbed my ally, so I went home. So he didn't. So he was sickened, obviously, that he scraped his wheel, but he didn't want to come into us and go, I'm after scraping my wheel, and then for us to be roaring, laughing at him and slagging. So he just thought it was just easier to just go home. So I thought that was very funny, and that's something that we always think back about and laugh about as well. So yeah, just stupid little stories like that. You need to send them to me because people need more funny shit to do. But yeah, as I was saying about this episode is all over the shop, isn't it? It's just bouncing from subject to subject. I told one long story and the thing ended up being fucking deep. But anyway, do you know what I've noticed lately? And I love it. This isn't something that grinds my gears. No, this is something that makes my gears change smoothly, we call it, right? But do you know when you want to log into something, like Spotify will just say, if you want to log into Spotify on your telly, it'll just say, scan the QR code on the screen and that'll let you log in. So you literally like open up the thing on your telly, QR code comes up, take a picture of it with your phone, press the fucking yoke, and then boom, you're logged in the telly. Like, that is just a godsend. I haven't had to try think of a password in so fucking long because of the ease of logging into so many fucking apps. And then you just get this one cunt of an app, a just curveball to what you're used to. And you're like, oh, sorry, you had this information and that information and that information and that information and that information, but you don't have the Declaration of Independence. Sorry, we can't let you in. Like, just fucking streamline all your apps. Streamline all logins and stuff like that. You can log in with your Face ID or you can log in with a code and stuff like that. And like, that's just something that I feel like apps and things like that are after doing correctly. And I want to thank them for that. So thanks, apps. Thanks, apps. Shout out to apps. Yeah. Look, I don't think I'm going to jump onto another subject. I think I'm going to leave it there. But what I will ask you to do is, what I wanted you to do is follow me on Spotify. That's something that people don't think about, and it's something that I don't think about, to be honest. And all the stuff that I'm asking you to do, I don't even do it for other podcasts and stuff like that. And you see, when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm usually driving. So when they say on their episodes, like, oh, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you give me 5 stars on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. But I want you, if there's anyone that's listening to this and you're just sitting at home or whatever, and you have the phone in your hand, or if you're watching it on the telly and you have the remote in your hand, just scroll down on whatever it is, Spotify or YouTube, and just put in a comment or click into my profile and give me 5 stars on Spotify and follow me on Spotify, because I found out yesterday as well, I actually have over 500 followers on Spotify, and that's brilliant. I think, I'm not sure, but from the fact that I'm only after starting at the start of the year, and now I have 500 followers on Spotify, whereas it's not really a common thing to follow people on Spotify, and I have over 500 now, then I think it's brilliant. But I'd love to grow up the number. And I think I have 3,000 followers on YouTube, or subscribers, or whatever it is. So just do that for me. I know I'm fucking constantly wrecking your heads about it, but I just see the numbers. I see the amount of people that are listening to each episode, and then I see the amount of comments that are on each episode, and I'm like, there's fucking way, 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 way more views than comments and shit like that. So just comment anything. Just anything at all. Even if you don't have a fucking funny thing to say or anything, you could even just tell me what your favourite part of the episode was, or you could tell me an idea that you want me to do in another episode or a section that you want me to have or whatever. Do you know? Or even you could put in something random. You could even be like, do you ever remember when you were on Tinder and you used to go on and look through people's photos and everyone seems to have the best life ever and every girl is a hairdresser and that Tinder should just be called hairdressers and not Tinder because every fucking girl on Tinder is a hairdresser. And then you flick into their pictures. Here's her on a camel. Here's her doing a parachute jump. Here's her with Barack Obama. And you're thinking, how am I meant to compete with this? I have a picture of myself from fucking Top Pizza or something and putting up as my picture, or a picture in Tenerife. But they have all this mad shit, like, do you know what I mean? Like, here's me going for a jog with the Queen, do you know? So you could even put stuff like that in the comments, or you could even just go into the comments and just say, here is a comment. Anything at all. Just engage in any way. I want to grow up. Oh, Jesus Christ, I keep getting fuck off. How about that? Fuck off. Right? I'm going to leave it there. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to fly off the handle like that, but I can't talk. So, for all my people out there, have a good. Right? Follow me on all the socials at Walshunit. TikTok is Walshunit41. You'll find me on Spotify at Walshunit or the Unit Podcast. Follow me on all the things and have a good. Right? Good luck.
The unit.